Welcome back, everybody, to Ultimate CNFT. Mike, aka Mr. Ultimate, with you here today, and we're here again with some buddies of mine from Stank Ape Speak Easy, Mr. Andy Bonesteel and Mr. Tom Kentner. How are you guys doing today?
Doing wonderful. Excited to be back.
Absolutely, great to be back here. Honored to have us on again.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is we were just talking a few minutes ago. This is the only project that I've now had a second founder interview with. Everyone's, there's a lot of information to share with where you guys have started, where you've come, your journey, your future. I really would love for you guys to tell everybody about what's going on with the Stank Apes. And so I am glad to have you guys here. Now, a little preface for those of you who are still new to my channel. We're getting new members every day. Cardano's growing every single day. So these gentlemen are two of a couple other people who are founders and very involved with the Stank Ape Speak Easy project. I've done numerous videos covering them. Now, again, this is the second founder interview. This is actually the one and only so far official sponsorship project of my channel. These guys give me an ape or two every month to give away to some of my my followers and everything. So I appreciate you guys. And so basically, we have a really good relationship. So we're just gonna have an open conversation with you guys today, the audience. We're gonna really enjoy it. There's so much going on with this project that I think you all need to know. And gentlemen, the stage is all yours. Tell me what's going on with Stank Ape Speak Easy, and then we'll get more into the story of the development of how you got to where you're at and how you pushed through and persevered, because I think it's a great story in the space, and I'm super happy to facilitate being able to share that. So, Tom, take it away, brother. How is everything going with the SASE?
Yeah, everything's going really well. So for those who don't know about us, we're the first NFT projects that's associated with a real life brewery. So we have a brewery right outside of Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia in North Wales. And it's about 30 minutes outside, very easy train ride. And it's called McAllister's Brewery. And we decided that there's not enough real life utility with NFTs, and we wanted to integrate real life utility and NFTs together. So therefore we created Stank Ape Speak Easy. We started minting in the midst of a bear market. As everyone knows, this is not a great time for crypto and NFTs. But we just stuck with it. We kept grinding. We have an awesome community. We have a lot of, really big whales, a lot of people that are behind us, quite a few people holding over 100 Stank Apes. And, we love our community. They're just our greatest supporters, and they're behind us 100%. So we finally just minted out here, the day before Christmas Eve. So it's a really cool, holiday for us. We, minted out, and then we had Christmas. So it was just absolutely amazing for us. So I'll let Andy take it away from there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like he said, we've been grinding from day one. We kind of know this was going to be a slow push. Like, I think we dropped the weekend of cornucopias, and our mint just happened to land right in between both of their big mints. So, yeah, we had some bad timing, but we just kept pushing forward, just kept growing the community, kept doing new things, and just building on top of what we already had, and just giving that IRL utility at everything. One of the main things that we've added to the project is our collab can. We've brought in 23 different projects. From mostly on Cardano, but we actually have projects on ETH and Matic as well. Actually, I have the can right here, but just a little like prototype here. But yeah, we're gonna be releasing this. Got a nice boss cat right there. Got Catnip's little CNFT. But yeah, we're gonna be releasing that in probably the beginning of March. We're gonna actually officially release the can itself, and we're talking with a group called NFT Philly about doing an event at the brewery for the official release. Just have some people out there, kind of give some people info on what NFTs are, because like the general kind of pub goer doesn't really even know what an NFT is. So we're going to have some events out there to really kind of inform the public on everything. But no, we're moving right along. Everything's going stellar. It's awesome.
Yeah, so obviously, like I said earlier, we've been in contact with each other for several months, long before you guys even minted and everything. And I was so happy to cover you guys, because once I really started learning about your project and getting to know you guys more, we had conversations just like this, in total private. And I saw immediately the vision of this project, and I understood that the IRL implications of this, and the what I always talk about on the show, growing the circle of influence. You know, like what you guys are doing is unique, and it's awesome. You know, not to mention, you know, your art, and like you said, you've built your community, you've catered to the community, and they have supported you, and I think it's awesome. All the diamond handlers, all these things, they speak for themselves, but you know, the ability to take an NFT and do something amazing with it, and even just putting it on the, like your original, the first ones with the QR codes. Like I could sit there and I could imagine people, you know, like, and you said, you know, in the brewery, you got the TVs, you got all these things going on, all these ways to like tie everything together and take an NFT project with a lot of people just think it's just a picture of whatever it may be. In your case, an ape or whatever, you know, a cat, a dog, and to expand people's understanding that NFTs are so much more than what the general public might think they are. There's no limit on what NFTs can really integrate into. And that's why, again, I've always, you know, just kind of really backed you guys up. And your story about how, you know, you came in here and you guys minted literally at probably like the worst time. I mean, it could not have been worse. We were in a massive bear market. Crypto was in the toilet, you know, and not to mention cornucopias, like you said, you were in between some major mints that were sucking literally millions of ADA out of the system. And at a time when combined with, you know, everyone maybe, you know, having liquidity issues, backing out, like it was just a tough pull for you guys. And here you have this amazing product. You have this, these amazing NFTs, this, you know, the art's awesome. Obviously I'm pretty partial to the Ultimate Warrior traits. I love that. And, you know, you guys pushed through and you made it through that. And not only did you make it through that, but you built your community. And now you have a strong, inseparable community. And now your project is minted out. You have so many things coming in the future, but here you are still working on the IRL implications of all these things. And again, you know, shout out from me to you guys personally, because your circle of influence, it's unique. And it's special and it's always growing. And I know that you guys are also shipping these beautiful cans with these labels out there to other stores. It's not just the brewery, it's outside the brewery. So if one of you guys can tell me a little bit about how that's coming into play and when that's really going to kind of take hold and people are going to be at home, you know, drinking these amazing beers that you brew in your brewery, looking at all this awesome stuff and going, what's an NFT? Well, maybe I ought to find out.
Yeah. So that's a really cool thing. Like, you know, I mean, I know we did a mint at an ideal time, but either way, we're still building everything and everything's really going to speak for itself. So the collab can, Andy was mentioning about it. We have all these different projects that are all together on this can. So when you go to the brewery, when you go to the beer distributor and you pick up a case of our beer or, you know, some of our seltzer and you get this collab can, even if you have no idea what an NFT is, you're going to see this can and you're going to notice something unique and something different about it. So that's going to cause you to scan that QR code. It's really going to open the awareness. And, you know, right now we're shipping our beer. There's 50 different beer distributors in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a little bit different where not every supermarket sells beer. You need to go to what are called actual beer distributors in Pennsylvania. And shipping between state lines can be a little tricky. So yeah, there's different laws we need to abide by here. But then our CBD seltzer, that's a non-alcoholic CBD seltzer, that ships nationwide. So I know the brewery just locked down a distributor for that. That's being shipped across the country as we speak. So,
bro, I'm still waiting for my package, dude. I need to get me some CBD seltzers because I actually don't drink very much alcohol, and you know, when I do, I love a good beer and everything. But you know, my wife, I've told him about, you know, what you guys do and everything. She's like, let's get some of those seltzers, and so I might just ship some of those to my doorstep, but. You know, again, you guys have avenues of distribution. You have all kinds of ways to, and these cans are beautiful. The label that you printed, the first time I saw it, you guys actually sent it to me. Like, take a look at this. I'm like, this is awesome. Speaks loudly and perfectly as to exactly what, you know, the CNFT space in general really is. It's encompassing. It's innovative. There's so many things that are going on. And again, you know, your project is so unique, and I know you guys have so much more coming. And I get excited to get ahead of myself, but it's great to hear that you guys have the ability to facilitate that. And you guys did a mint party launch for on Mint Day and in the brewery, which is cool. And a bunch of people showed up to that. And, you know, you guys have made friends with other projects in that whole process. And what I like about you guys is that you're very encompassing of the CNFT space. You're very inclusive, you know, and I like that because we're all here to really grow as a space together. And you guys, since I've known you, have really embraced that since day one. And I just, I appreciate you guys for that. And, Andy, I know that you are, you're the artist, and you did a great job. And, your brand and your name and your recognition is growing in the space. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I know that you guys, now that you're minted out and you've fully integrated into running the community and all these other things that you're doing IRL, you guys have more stuff, down the road coming, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So just to
no
kind
need
of
for
touch
anything
on,
alpha, but just whatever you got, throw it at us, bro, because we want to know.
Yeah, of course. So just kind of touching back to the collab can for 1 second. So we have a lot of people outside the country, of course, that want to get their hands on this. And right now we can't ship pretty much anything outside the US aside from cans. So what we're going to end up doing is a merch mint's going to be next on the list. And you're going to be able to basically mint your own collab can. So we can ship them basically anywhere in the world. We're going to have some different ways that you can get the can, but they're going to come as like stash cans or even like fancier collector cans. And then you get a bunch of swag inside the can with different merch from the product. So yeah, it's going to be a cool way for people to get their hands on it that either don't drink or just, you just want something to put up on your mantle, you got some cool NFTs to show off. But yeah, that's kind of next on the list. And then after that, we're going to start working on the Hammered Apes, which is going to be the next collection that we release. I'm working on some, what I think is pretty innovative art for that. I went with PFPs for this just because it's what everybody knows, but I'm really going to stretch outside of the boundaries of what you can do with generative art. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't want to spread too much alpha on that. I don't want somebody stealing my ideas here.
Yeah, for sure. We got to protect those cards, man. I know what that's like. So as I said, don't feel the need to do any of that stuff. But I mean, obviously people can be caught up with all you guys, with everything you're doing at, joining your Discord and your Twitter and all this stuff.
Yeah,
of course, links, all that stuff will be in the description box below for those of you who are watching. But you guys, since even before I believe you did mint your first and main collection, you guys talked about the Hammered Apes and right, and how there's plenty of information out there on it and everything, but and you're talking about making these brewery NFTs, correct? Are we still on pace for all that stuff?
Yeah, the virtual breweries. So
tell me a little bit about that. That's interesting.
So for the virtual breweries, we're I'm currently going through the white paper and making some tweaks. We did change our supply a little bit, so that's going to change our distributions of the breweries and possibly even the brewery numbers themselves. So they may even be more valuable than originally was in the white paper. So that's something we're very excited for. We're going to be bringing a lot of different projects on board, companies that may not even know what an NFT is, may not really even understand crypto, but just heard about the space, want to, find out more, are interested in maybe releasing their own. This could work really well for artists. This could work really well for charities, for, small businesses, whole bunch of different avenues where we're hoping to onboard into this space. And then even projects from other chains. So that's where our breweries are really going to help with that. And then the people that hold the breweries are going to get a return on that as well. So that's, a cool thing. Everybody's going to be rewarded for this. In addition to that, we've really been building out our social media. PJ is a guy in the space, been really, really huge with helping us grow out our Twitter and, really helped us make that push towards the end of our mint there. And we're, extremely grateful for him and what we've been able to learn from him. So we're going to continue to grow that. And we really want to make the Stank Apes, and SASE just a recognizable logo in the space and really get it out there and allow us to be an onboarding platform for people that really may not even know that much about crypto to come into the space.
Yeah, and that actually speaks very much to what I was saying earlier about you guys having a vision that is more than just let's make a project, let's make some money. Sure, we all want to make money. The work that we do, let's make some cool art and let's have some fun on the blockchain. That's all great and everything too, but having a bigger, more encompassing vision is awesome, and that's what the space needs. And I know that you guys, from private conversations we've had, like you're here to facilitate and help other people along in their journey as well. And I think that's awesome. And not everybody's in a position to be able to do that. You kind of have to, number one, have some experience. You kind of have to know how to grow and have some success as well. So you've got experience, you've got success. And again, you guys push through what I believe may and hopefully will be the worst time we've had in this space. I actually, obviously things are in a bear market. You can say, there's always little rebounds and there's ups and downs and dead cat bounces and all that, jargon and everything. But I actually see particularly, and I don't know too much about other platforms. I am a Cardano maxi most of the time when it comes to crypto and everything. I'm actually getting ready as a YouTuber to branch out into other. This is alpha for some people who don't know this, by the way. I'm dropping some alpha here. I'm getting ready to branch out into some other chains as well, because I want to know more about what they do, and I want to understand more about what goes on in other chains, and especially the purpose of being able to grow my circle of influence, not just as a YouTuber, but it's like, hey, if you're already into NFTs, why don't you come check out Cardano? Because I personally think we're the best platform out there. There's nobody, people just don't know. They don't know yet because they haven't experienced what it's like to buy or sell or be involved in the communities. What we have is special. And the reason I'm going on this rant right here is because it comes back to like you guys being willing to work with other projects and be like, hey, we're all in this together. If the space grows together and the space is healthy together, it's just better for everybody. The investors, the project developers, the builders, the innovators, all of that stuff is coming together. And most of us are kind of holding hands and going down the street and being like, yeah, let's go do this. And you guys have been really, really good in those regards. In fact, a cut above a lot of other people. And again, it comes back to, pushing through and making it through that tough time. So I see the CNFT space is doing really well. You see a lot of projects, they're coming out there and they're crushing it. Floors are setting new all-time highs. We've got all kinds of projects coming in, some of them good, some of them great, some of them not so great, but we're growing and we're growing fast. And again, that circle of influence is growing. And what I want to know is how do you guys see that continuing to develop? And obviously, SASE is here to build that brand, to be a name in the space, to be somebody who can facilitate saying, hey, we've been down this road. We know what it takes to get from here to there and to do it right and to grow the community. And so, share some more of your thoughts on that, because really at the end of the day, that's what gets me the most excited, because some of us are here for the long haul. And obviously SASE, you guys are one of those brands. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we knew this was going to be long haul. Like we planned on this from day one. So like, I think one of the main things that we really learned as a team was to not be so rigid in your kind of view of what you're trying to create, be able to kind of pivot along the way, because again, like things just kept getting deeper and deeper. Like we planned on dropping at one point and we're like, well, let's wait and see if the bear market passes a little, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse. So you just, we kind of pivoted and made some adjustments to keep growing and to keep changing and to keep kind of evolving what the project is. And working with other projects is crucial. I think, especially right now, we're in a space where we really need to reach out to everybody and we need to lift each other up. There's a lot of, especially in some other chains, there's a lot of kind of gatekeepers and people kind of almost holding down other projects. But I think the Cardano space especially is very inclusive and very open to everybody working together. And again, that's where the collab can comes into play. Is this is going to be an biannual thing. So we're basically going to release a new can every 6 months. We're going to bring in new projects. We're going to be releasing new beers in it. The first beer that we're going to release it's going to be the Tropical Hazy IPA, one of my favorite kind of flavors for a beer. So really excited to get that into my hands. But we're also going to release a crowler can, which you can get whatever beer that you want from the brewery. So you can have that basically filled on site with whatever you want in it. Maybe you want CBD seltzer in it, but it's a bigger can. It's got a little bit more realty space on there, so you can see the NFTs a little bit better.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Tom, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, that's the great thing about the collab can. And I went to the NFT Philly event. They hosted it at an art gallery in Philly, and it was really cool because I was the first Cardano project there.
Really?
So it was really cool. It was mostly Ethereum and Solana. But all those guys are really welcoming. And they even had a speech where they said, blockchains need to start working with each other instead of against one another.
Totally,
And
man.
that really rings true for me. The more that crypto succeeds in general, the more different, chains succeed with NFTs, the better everyone's going to do. So, just as a community whole, we really need to stop this infighting and just, not only within the Cardano space, but even cross chain, just bring everybody together and let's really, make this space, be the greatest it can be.
I totally agree with that. And it's cool that we're having this conversation right now too, because like I said, I haven't even told, hardly anybody that I actually do have down the road plans to do, more cross-chain stuff. And it's like, it goes back to the crypto days when it was like Ethereum and Cardano, and they were always just like, there's so much of the communities, like they hated each other for so long. And now we've got NFTs and everyone's kind of like, a lot of people are either in one camp or the other. But I still, no matter how far I go into some other chain or whatever it may be, Cardano's my love. Cardano's like my baby. You know what I mean? I still see us as being the best and being the innovators and the perfect example of look what happens when you work together. Are we in competition with each other? In some ways you could say that. Yeah, there's only so much ADA to go around. Again, back to the example of you guys, the time in the market that you minted. When cornucopias, these big hitters were just sucking up, there's only so much, but we're still growing. But at the same time, that competition only goes so far. It's more about, hey, like, what can we do together, to get to where we're going and make things better for everybody, and if an investor comes in there and they have a good taste in their mouth, they're going to stay and they're going to tell their friends, and that circle of influence grows. And I know I say this on my channel all the time, but it's true. That's the space that we're at right now. And, so, again, high marks to you guys for all those kinds of things. And so, I don't know if we talked about this in our last interview or if I've talked about this, on the reviews that I've done on your project, but tell me a little bit more about the actual physical brewery itself. Like, how long has it been there? Who's really, the main person there? And if anyone's, I don't know if either one of you guys are actually, visit the pub or whatever, but do you get to see any of the reactions of people when they're drinking these beers or when they're asking questions? Like, do people just sit there and, they're watching the screen or whatever, and all of a sudden you guys got that commercial that you guys play in for, SASE, and is there any reaction that people are having to that? Because again, this is a very unique way of introducing, the broader space, the real world out there to what goes on in this little, what still at this point is still niche. Won't be like that forever, but it's still a niche place. And so when people find out new things, I like to know what their reaction is.
So yeah, I mean, so McAllister's Brewery, it's been there going on 5 years now. And it's kind of funny you asked that question. We were just talking to Kate, who's she's one of the owners of the brewery there. And we were just talking last night about how we want to introduce our project to the general public there. Just with the way they're doing their social media, how they're going to advertise it to the brewery. So we all know what NFTs are. We all are very familiar with this space, but just imagine if you didn't hear anything about NFTs ever, or it's completely new to you, or you're explaining it to your mother. You've really got to start with what is an NFT, what is a blockchain, the basic 101 stuff. So right. We're in the process right now. We're developing different slides to put on the TV and to put out to social media. That are going to explain the basic things. And then after that, we're really going to start hitting the project hard and bringing people into the NFT world and into the Stank Ape project, as a whole. So we are working on a way to do that at the brewery itself. I know Seth, they held a surprise party for his father there, and I was there, and a couple guys were there, and they were asking about NFTs and whatnot. So, nice. I went over and was talking to them, explaining a little bit about how it works and what we're doing with our project. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see. I'm about 20 minutes from the brewery as well, so I do get over there. But it's interesting to see people are starting to notice things and starting to see, when we flash the NFT up on the TV, they're kind of taking a second look at it, like, what on earth are they doing here? So, the seed has definitely been planted, put it that way.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's what we do. We're planting seeds and we're educating people on what it is that we all know so much about. We're all so passionate about. And, yeah, it's every day growing, every day learning, and every day teaching other people about, hey, like, take a look at what's going on over here. It's not just an ape, there's things going on. And again, back to, the fact that what got me so fascinated with you guys was this whole, beer is very relatable. Think about how many people just, they share beers together. They talk about things, bros, homies, chilling out, whatever it may be, watching games or whatever. And it's just like, it kind of hits home because that's what we do essentially within our own communities that we build. You guys talk a lot about your community. You've always talked about your community. You have a strong community. Tell me a little bit more about, the development of that community and how they have just really supported you guys in getting from where you were to where you are now and getting ready to take the next step, because you got some diamond hand holders and not every project can say that.
Yeah. So from day one, we built the community as basically what our project is a speakeasy. We've treated our Discord and our social media like a pub, and we love how people just come in. They come in and start talking about their day, and it's not just like, oh, the charts say this or the charts say that. It's straight up like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I'm drinking this beer. Like, we started this thing real early called one of the channels is Happy Hour, where it's basically you just go in there and post up what you're drinking right now. Like, you find a cool beer that you really like, you share it with the community. Like, oh yeah, I like that kind of beer. Maybe I can find that in a distributor near me. So that's what I like. I mean, I do these like beer taste kind of things with my neighbor who's like super beer aficionado. But he always puts me onto these insanely delicious, great stouts and all sorts of different beers that he can find. And I'll walk over there with like some grocery store beer. Sorry, man, I don't know what else to buy, but let me get some of what you got.
As long as you're not hitting up the Pabst Blue Ribbon, dude, you're all right.
No, you don't.
Oh yeah,
PBR and me don't mix. That turns me into white trash Andy, and you don't want to deal with that.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's all about those. I'd rather have a couple of good craft beers than maybe a sixer of some trash beer. And like I said, I'm not the biggest drinker, but I do enjoy a good beer every once in a while. But it's cool that you guys are working with beer that, especially the stuff that you're shipping out in your cans. This is stuff that's done in a brewery, like. This is full on handcrafted. This is people who do this for a living. And I guess one question I could ask, I know we talked about it before, but there's always a new audience coming in because we're all still, growing and everything. When did the idea come from, okay, we got this brewery, we've got this, we love the CNFT space. Obviously you guys were probably investors before you created your own project. So you knew a little bit about what to look for in a project and things like that. But when did the idea come to like, hey, let's make a Cardano NFT project, attach it to our brewery and do something unique and special? Like, when did that whole thing when was the seed planted? Because we all know where you're at now, but where did it start?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it started with the Stank Ape itself. So like the idea of the Stank Ape and the lore had already existed before NFTs existed. Like back in well, maybe not before NFTs, but back in I think 2019, the head brewer of McAllister's would dress up in a ape suit and basically go around town to different bars and just chug beers. Basically just causing havoc and stories with everywhere that he went. But it was kind of like it became local lore where it's like this Bigfoot going around like, what is this thing? He stinks because he's got beer just poured all over him. He smells like hops.
Amazing.
And I was doing some art for Seth for the brewery, just some background stuff, like can mock-ups and whatnot. And he had I was already doing NFTs at the time. I've been creating collections for about a year and a half now, maybe a little bit more. But he knew that I was into that, and he's like, well, what do you think if we turn this brand and expand on it and actually turn it into an NFT project? And he told me that he had two close friends, Chris and Tom here, who were really deep in the CNFT space and knew it front end and back. So I'm like, okay, we got a nice squad. I mean, Seth is a business owner. He's run a bunch of businesses. I've been a full-time artist for years and actually selling art to people. And these guys know the fucking back end of it. Sorry. But yeah, it was cool. Just we had the team, we had the vision, and we're just like, yeah, let's see what we can do with it. At first, I think everybody but Seth was like, no, we're not doing an ape project because everybody does ape projects.
Yeah, right.
But with the lore and with like the background of everything, we're like, okay, that it fits, everything works. And I wanted to do it a little bit different. I did like the front facing shot. I added a bunch of like hybrid traits where there's like a tiger stank, there's a lion stank, there's like a reptile trait. And it's not just apes. There's a lot of cryptozoology kind of added in there. I'm a big fan of just different kind of lore and ancient whatever, like ancient aliens kind of stuff. So like, yeah, let's add all sorts of different kinds of Bigfoot in here. Like you got the Yeti, you got the Sasquatch, you got the Yowie from Australia.
Yeah.
So like we're adding a bunch of that stuff in the lore, and just finding different ways to really connect the brewery and integrate it was key. Because again, like nobody really starts with the brick and mortar business and then goes into NFTs. It's almost always the other way around. So we thought that we had enough. We had a little bit of a niche, and the beer is great. So that's another bonus, you know?
Yeah. It all just kind of speaks for itself. You know, we've talked before about the whole, you know, where the ape came from and everything. And this is, I think, more in depth of a story than I've ever really had. But I think that gives you guys definitely the rights to create, you know, an ape project, because there's some reality behind it. And I think it was like, this was meant to happen. You know, the story of the brewery, the whole thing with the owner, you know, doing what he does and everything, it leading to this. And now like I said, you've minted out, you know, the main project, and you have all these plans for all these other things, and it's all coming together at a time when, you know, I believe the darkness is past us. I think that we're going to be entering a real, I keep telling people that 2023 is a year I believe that Cardano NFTs are going to get their legs, man. I think we're going to grow up a lot this year. I think we are going to excel. I think the quality of projects that's coming in, the accountability is there. You know, I refuse to work with anyone who's not doxxed. I refuse to, you know, promote anything that's going to be botting and stealing people's stuff, or there's a lot of stuff going on in the space, and there's people who are gathering together and be like, nah, like we have standards, you know, we have morals, and that is going to propel us. And we are growing up. We're going to do some big things in 2023, you guys. And I'm excited for all the things that you're doing, all the things that you're growing, and the experience you have to share, and the fact that you're willing to take other people and show them kind of the ropes. Some people need that. You know, we're at this point, we're all influencers, and we've experienced success in here, and we owe it to the space to give back more than we can get from it. And I've always seen you guys as people who are doing that in the space. And that's why I'm willing to have you on here multiple times and to cover your project and to integrate you into my own Discord and have you be part of the greater family. And I appreciate you guys sharing all those stories with me and some of the background on the IRL. And you hit a good point. You know, you see a lot of people now that are coming in, and it's great, and definitely not knocking it. Don't misrepresent what I'm saying here, but you see people who have these great ideas for these brick and mortar businesses, these IRL businesses, but they need maybe some funding, or they have this idea, and it would work out great to have an NFT attached with it. So, you know, it's almost like putting the cart before the horse, or the other way around. But like you said, you had this established, you know, business with now you got this lore with this ape. Like I said, it was meant to happen. It was meant for you guys to, and you had this artist. You're super talented, bro. Like your art speaks for itself. And this had to happen. It happened. You guys are doing a great job. I'm still very curious about, you know, the next iteration of what's going on with these breweries. I don't know if we can talk maybe more about that another time or whatever it may be, but you really piqued my interest with going cross chain. I love the fact that you're not afraid to say, hey, you know what? The world of NFTs is huge. And, you know, each one of us is a piece of this puzzle, and we all act, you know, differently within the communities themselves, but also the greater, you know, whether it's Ethereum or whether it's Solana, which I think is broken. That's my personal experience with Solana. But, you know, the fact that you're out there and being like, hey, you know what, this is only the beginning of what we're doing. There's so much more out there. I appreciate you guys for that. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to your next mint, whenever that may be. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I don't want to make you talk about things you're not comfortable with. But I'm super excited as an investor. I'm like you, Tom. I'm an investor in the CNFT space. I came here and I was like, I jumped in with both feet, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, I want to put my fingerprint on this space too. So I share that passion with you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we're we're constantly looking for new people to work with. There's so much that the NFT space, not only on Cardano, but just, everywhere. There's so much that all these different projects have to offer. If we work together and we build stuff together, it's just going to make the whole ecosystem just grow so much quicker. So, yeah, we're welcome to everyone. As long as you're not rugging people, we're more
Right.
than willing to work with you. Yep.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's great. Well, hey, again, appreciate having you guys on here. My platform's always open to you. My Discord's always open up to you guys. Our communities are very integrated because there's a lot of people who support you guys and support myself as well. So, shout out to all those people who do support the projects and do hang in there and do see that people, when they work hard and they're willing to just push through and to come and support us, the work that we put in, I'm sure that I can speak for you guys as well. The gratitude, we cannot put into words sometimes how much that means to us, and to have our community support us and everything. And, I know we share that in common as well, so I can speak freely on that. And listen, is there anything else that we forgot to mention or we didn't talk about, or anything you want the audience to know about pertaining to SASE? I know that, again, I always encourage people to come and join the communities themselves and be a part of it and get a feel for the other people who do make up the community. But as well, the leadership is important. Your leadership speaks for itself. And again, I appreciate you for that. But we're about to wind this down here, you guys. Is there anything we forgot to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, just talking on the virtual breweries, just to kind of hint at a little something. So I know we had kind of talked about bringing on other projects and helping them grow and helping them mint whatever they're trying to do. We're trying to bring on IRL businesses as well. As an artist, I work with a lot of different people through like comics and other things. And I've been talking to some people who are like, I have this great comic book. I want to kind of build it out as a franchise. I want to build it out as a brand. And I'm like, well, have you ever thought of releasing it as an NFT? And kind of giving that kind of intro to that world. So I've got some connections with some people that are interested in doing it. I do want to kind of put it out there to your audience. If you're an artist and you're looking to find an outlet, reach out to us. I mean, find us on Discord, find us on Twitter, and we can talk. Let's grow together.
Awesome, dude. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're here to do. We're here to share. We're here to grow. We're here to help each other out, man. Thank you for mentioning that, because like I said, I didn't know that. But anyone who's my audience member, and if you want contacts with these gentlemen, let me know. We'll get you plugged in. There's a lot of new people coming to the space. They have no idea where to even start. But this is a perfect example of the kind of project that you can get behind and you can be a part of. So, thank you for sharing that, Andy. And Tom, any parting words, brother? Anything we forgot to mention on your end, or anything you want to share with the audience before we go ahead and get this up there for the people to view?
Yeah, just speaking of artists, by the way, Pets Are Us. So they're a project. It's a bunch of Cali boys. They're actually going to be doing a mural on the wall of our brewery that faces the train tracks. So there's going to be thousands of people that are going to get to see this mural. So we're waiting until summertime. We don't want these Cali boys coming to Pennsylvania in the middle of January. Not the greatest idea. But yeah, once summer rolls around, that's something we're going to be looking to do. And when we have our annual party at the brewery for our holders, that mural should be done by then. So that's another thing. We're just really looking to showcase that and to see the art they do. And once again, just showcase not only our project, but the space in general. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Fantastic, man. Thank you guys for being on here today. Thank you for sharing the updates with your project, talking openly about what it takes to get from point A to point B, and then, C, D, E, and F down the road, and, just sharing your passion for the space, and again, being fully transparent. And what a perfect example, again, your project has been from pushing through the dark times, and, the sun is about to shine on us. So let's all enjoy it together, you guys. Appreciate everything you've done for the space and appreciate your time for coming right here on Ultimate CNFT and sharing all those thoughts with us. So, hey, listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you made it this far into the interview, you are my true supporters. Give me a like, give me a subscription, give me a thumbs up, help trigger these algorithms. Leave some comments below. Tell me about your experience with this project. How long have you been in here? Were you here from day one? Did you mint this project? Did you jump in later? Were you part of that community that was supporting these guys pushing through and making it to the promised land and getting a sold out mint? I want to know from you. So, hey, I'll check you guys later. I'll see you on the next one. Peace and God bless.